Good morning, students. Today is our lecture 12 and we are going to begin with lesson 4, that is surface chemistry. We have already completed solutions, then electrochemistry, chemical kinetics, and our next lesson is surface chemistry. So the branch of physical science which deals with the study of changes which occur on the surface and the mechanism by which they take place is known as surface chemistry. So in this lesson we are going to study about adsorption, then catalysis, enzymes, and at last the colloidal state. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in this lesson: adsorption, catalysis, enzymes, and the colloidal state. So first of all we are going to begin with adsorption. AD it is. Okay. So my dear students, you must have seen the sugar which we buy from the market. Is it white in color in its raw form? It's absolutely not. In its raw form it is brownish in color and it might have some impurities as well. So this sugar which is in raw form, brown colored, this is passed through animal charcoal and that charcoal absorbs the color as well as impurities so that it becomes pure and white. The plastic containers, the bottles which we buy from the market, inside you can see there is a pouch of silica gel. So what's the role of silica gel? It acts as a dehumidizer. It helps to remove the water vapor from there. So there are so many examples. In mines, the people, they wear masks. That mask is also made up of charcoal because charcoal has got the capacity, it has got the tendency to absorb the poisonous gases which are released over there, like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, etc. And let's see an example that in a cylinder, if you take a gas and you add a piece of charcoal, okay, what happens? There is a sudden decrease inside the pressure of the gas, but afterwards the decrease is very small. Why does it happen? Because charcoal, it absorbs the gases at the surface. So the phenomenon by which the concentration of these gaseous molecules increase at the surface or they are accumulated at the surface is nothing but adsorption. And the species which absorbs these gases is known as adsorbent, and the gaseous molecules which are absorbed at the surface is nothing but adsorbate. Okay. So this is what adsorption, adsorbent and adsorbate is. So what are the important points related with adsorption? First of all, that it is the phenomenon by which concentration of the molecules are more at the surface than in the bulk. Secondly, it is a surface phenomenon. Okay. During adsorption, there is decrease in surface energy which releases in the form of heat, and therefore it is an exothermic process. The amount of heat evolved when 1 mole of a gaseous substance is adsorbed at the surface of solid is known as enthalpy of adsorption. The solid which absorbs the gases are known as adsorbent, and the gaseous molecules which are adsorbed at the surface are known as adsorbate. Okay. Now the factors on which the process of adsorption depends. Since it is a surface phenomenon, so it would depend upon surface area. Larger the surface area, more would be the extent of adsorption and vice versa. Then it depends upon the nature of adsorbate. Okay. Now there are gases which are temporary as well as permanent. Permanent gases like oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, etc. Their liquefaction is difficult, and so is absorption as well. They cannot be absorbed easily. But temporary gases like carbon dioxide, ammonia, sulfur dioxide, they are temporary gases, so their rate of absorption would be easier. It also depends upon the nature of adsorbent. Okay, so adsorbents like alumina, clay, fuels, earth, metals like nickel, platinum, palladium, etc. They are very good adsorbents. Charcoal even, because they have large surface area. How can we increase the process of adsorbent, its efficiency? How can it be increased or enhanced? That is known as activation of adsorbent. Okay, so adsorbent, its activity can be enhanced or increased. How? By rubbing with the surface, so that due to friction, surface area increases, so that their tendency to adsorb will also increase. Then by heating with superheated steam, then also the rate of adsorption can increase. Apart from this, it would depend upon temperature as well as pressure. Okay, but the dependence of temperature and pressure we will discuss later separately in detail, because there is an adsorption isotherm by Frendelich which is very important. Now, before we discuss the types of adsorption, let me tell you what is the difference between adsorption and absorption. Okay, here AB and here it is AD. When a sponge is placed in water, it absorbs water molecule. That's an example of absorption. So it's a bulk phenomenon, whereas adsorption is a surface phenomenon. Here the concentration of the gaseous molecule is more at the surface. Here the concentration is same throughout. In case of adsorption, the process is fast at the beginning but afterwards becomes slow. But absorption occurs at a uniform rate. It is not like that. In case of adsorption, it is fast at the beginning and afterwards it is slow. It occurs at a uniform rate. So adsorption means the concentration of the molecule is more at the surface, but in absorption the concentration is more in the bulk. And when the process of adsorption and absorption occurs simultaneously, that is known as sorption. S-O-R-P-T-I-O-N. So what happens in this case? The concentration is more at the surface as well as in the bulk. So both are occurring simultaneously. And one example you can see, you just take a piece of chalk and just dip it into the ink. What is going to happen? First of all, it would be adsorbed at the surface. You can see. You cut the piece of chalk and you can see only at the surface the ink is there. But when you place it for some time more, afterwards what is going to happen? The concentration would be more inside the bulk even. So that phenomenon is an example of sorption. And the reverse of adsorption, that means removing the molecule from the surface, that is known as desorption. So these are some important terminology for definitions, distinguish between adsorption and absorption along with the examples and so on. Now, after these introductory points, we would discuss about the types of adsorption. There are two important types. One is physical adsorption, which is also known as physisorption, and the second one is chemical adsorption, which is also known as chemisorption. Okay. In case of physical adsorption, the force of attraction between the adsorbent and adsorbent is V. van der Waals force. Okay. Whereas In case of chemical adsorption, the force of attraction is a chemical bond, that is ionic, covalent and so on. Since the force of attraction is weak, van der Waals force, so the enthalpy of adsorption is low. It is 20 to 40 kilojoule per mole, and since force of attraction is strong, chemical bond is there, so here the enthalpy of adsorption is high, around 80 to 240 kilojoule per mole. Then physical adsorption, since the force of attraction is weak, it is reversible, whereas chemical adsorption, it is irreversible. Okay? It is not specific. That means extent of adsorption will not depend upon the nature of adsorbate and adsorbent. But so far as chemical adsorption is concerned, it is highly specific. It would depend upon the nature of gas and the solid which are going to adsorb them. Now the next is, in case of physical adsorption, multi-molecular layers are formed during adsorption. But in case of chemical adsorption, unimolecular layers are formed. Now, as I said, during the process of adsorption, surface energy decreases, which releases in the form of heat, and therefore it is an exothermic process. So physical adsorption occurs at low temperature, but chemical high temperature. So according to Le-Chatelier's principle, an increase in temperature should decrease the extent of adsorption, and that is what happens in case of physisorption. But why does it happen in case of chemisorption that it occurs at high temperature, although it is an exothermic process? Why it is so? Because it requires activation energy. Why does it require activation energy? Because there is a chemical bond between adsorbate and adsorbent. But here it does not require activation energy. So far as surface area is concerned, in both the cases it would depend upon the surface area. And one more very important point is, that is the nature of, state of adsorbate. State of adsorbate in case of physical adsorption would remain same in the bulk as well as at the surface. Okay, but in case of chemical adsorption, just see the example. Suppose we take oxygen gas which is being adsorbed at the surface. Here it is gas, but when a metal is going to adsorb oxygen gas, what is going to happen? It will form metal oxide. So here oxygen is gas. After formation of metal oxide, now it is solid. So the adsorbate, its physical state matters over here. Here it was gas, now it has become solid. But in this case, it would remain same. Why? Because there is no chemical bond, only weak van der Waals force is there. Similarly, you see, if you take hydrogen gas, here it is gas. After the adsorption by metal, it would form metal hydride, and that also is a solid. So in case of chemical adsorption, the state of adsorbate would not remain same in the bulk as well as at the surface. So in today's lecture, we have discussed about the introductory points. What is adsorption, what is absorption, desorption, sorption, factors on which adsorption depends, types of adsorption, the differences between physical and chemical adsorption, and the examples. So all of you learn it thoroughly and come prepared for the next lecture. We are going to continue with adsorption isotherms, then adsorption isobars, applications of adsorption, and then catalysis and so on. Thank you.